Let us not dawdle, for there are grudges to settle, and new entries in the Dammer's Cron to write.
Howdy, howdy, Sue Devil here, and welcome to another online ladder battle with the Dowie facing up against Chaos. Now, in this match, I'll go over the Chaos Army first because we're going to have some cannon shots coming in here because I do have cannons. He does have a Hell Cannon for some of his range. This is the only unit I can see right now at the very beginning of the match. He has two regular Chaos Warriors, which are solid, and two Chaos Warriors with great weapons, which are probably the best pound-for-pound armor-piercing infantry in the game. And he also has two Chosen with great weapons, who are buzzsaws against the Dowie. He does have Prince Sigvald the Magnificent, and Prince Sigvald has the ability to regenerate, which makes him pretty decent, or makes him decent enough anyways, and he also has a Chaos Giant. Now, in the very far back, he does have some Marauder Horsemen with throwing axes. Oh, I see my cannonballs are coming in, and he's got a shot going in. I just want to catch this damage while it's early, because this Hell Cannon is not going to last very long. We'll just see what kind of damage. Yeah, very nice damage with the cannons in the very beginning of the match, and we do get a little bit of residual damage against the Chaos Warriors, who I cannot see, and he is going to send in some damage with his unit. So we'll get this playing, and I'll try and keep attention to that. So he's shooting against my cannons, and I'm shooting against his Hell Cannon. So this is a match I've tried to bring a pretty tough group. I brought 4 groups of hammers in the front line, and I do have Grombrindle, and he does have Flash Bomb, and for the minus 76% speed and minus 27 melee defense, and he does magic damage. I was worried about Sathril, and he has the Rune Axe with Grombrindle, and you can see we've already basically taken out that Hell Cannon, so I'm going to start switching my targets right away. I do have 4 units of miners, so 3 units of miners are on top of each of the cannons to help protect them, and I have a group of miners out front here just to deal with anything out front and take charges. I have those 4 groups of hammers, and now I'm just going to change my target over to the maybe I'll take some shots of the Chaos Giant, and then I'll switch to the Chosen with great weapons. I do have 3 units of Longbeards. 1 out here to face this side, 1 for this side, and 1 sort of for the back. Now I see these Marauder Horsemen coming in, so I'm going to send 2 units of miners after them. I just want them to chase, to not allow them to take pot shots at me, so I can shoot as they come in. And here comes Sigvald. You know, this giant saw he was getting hit, and he's just going to head down this way along with the Chaos Warriors with great weapons and these Chosen here. I think I'm going to try and take shots at these ones. I'm not really sure, but I am going to bring Grombrindle up to try and beat up on Sigvald. I'm also going to bring my hammers. So I want to chase these guys off both ways. They can shoot me, and that's really what they're for. I don't want them getting in on my cannons. That's the whole idea of chasing them off. You know, maybe I should turn my cannons around. I don't really know where do I got my cannons there. Yeah, are all shooting on these guys right here. So I'm bringing these guys up. I want this engagement to start. I've got some hammers here. I've got 3 groups of hammers plus these guys that take the charge, and we do have Chaos Warriors with great weapons and Chosen with great weapons, and I am going to hit that Rune Axe with Grombrindle for the minus 27 melee defense. So these guys have, I'm not getting these guys, so they have 5 melee defense. These guys have 46, so I'm going to do a ton of damage to these guys, and we're going to get some damage into these Chosen with great weapons, but they're going to damage us, and there also is Chaos Warriors in here, and these guys are going up against Chaos Warriors with great weapons, which should be fine, and the Chaos Giant is coming in here. So I do have Grombrindle. He's fighting here. We've got Standard Eye from Sigvald, and I'm trying to put some damage down on Sigvald. So Sigvald has good stats, 65 and 87 for his stats right now. Well, Grombrindle is 70 and 42. So they're going to start fighting. Now, he has gotten his Marauder Horseman into the cookie jar, and he is routing my cannon. That's the one thing I was trying to avoid by having my guys here. I'm going to take these Longbeards. You can't really see them, but I'm trying to bring them up against that giant because these hammers are getting beat down. These hammers are losing. These guys are gone already, and we do have these Chaos Warriors in here, and I'm trying to deal with these guys. They're doing a really good job. I wish I had 1 unit of quarters or something to deal with them, but I don't. It is what it is. So I'm going to get these cannons back on if I can and try and chase these guys down. So these Marauder Horsemen are going to come in again for another charge. These guys are losing here, but I'm going to send these Longbeards with great weapons after them, and they're trying to shoot me in the back. And Sigvald and Grombrindle are just exchanging blows here. It's very, very close. But now these two groups of hammers have taken a ton of damage. I have been able to do a lot of bad damage to the Chosen with great weapons and the Chaos Warriors with great weapons, and these. But he has now got broken through to my line with these Chosen with great weapons and these Chaos Warriors with great weapons. So I need to do something. So I'm going to send my Longbeards in, and I've got these Longbeards and these miners here, but I need to send something to deal with these guys. So I'm going to send my miners in. This is a suicide mission, but it is what it is, and I do have my cannons try to shoot in here for a little bit, but there's not going to be much else they can do. So once I get these guys stopped, I'm going to start shooting at this giant. Now he is sort of hidden and it's super dark, so I can barely even see him, but he is fighting some Longbeards with great weapons, and these Chaos Warriors with great weapons have gone. So that Chaos Giant is going to be fighting over there. I'm trying to keep my cannons online and shooting at the giant, and I've gotten Grombrindle killed. Unfortunately, I haven't paid enough attention, and now Sigvald has killed Grombrindle, and he's got his standard eye going, and he's going to start healing, which is really, really unfortunate for me. These hammers have done a good job beating down the Chaos Warriors, beating down the Chosen with great weapons, but I've lost my leader. Now this is where the Dowie leadership is going to really have to shine through. I've got a group of hammers running away here. These miners are going to try and fight the Marauder Horseman. Now he's just going to charge into me, and why wouldn't he, right? But you know, the miners can take a charge because these guys don't have armor piercing unless they're throwing their axes. So yeah, they'll rout them, but at least I'm doing reasonably well. I have managed to rout these Chaos Warriors, and these miners should just follow them. I don't think I'm going to have to worry about them for a little while. I think I've got them following, so I'm just going to chase him off and get them off the battlefield. I still have my cannons. Now they're all back on their cannons. I've been able to put them back on their cannons, and I've been able to shoot back at this giant, but I'm not hitting him lots. Like, a lot of the shots are just going into the trees, unfortunately, and I have been able to hold off these Chosen with great weapons with my Longbeards with great weapons and my miners. He's got these Marauder Horsemen coming in. He's trying to take some pot shots and trying to get in here, trying to get into the cookie jar once again, but he is starting to lose health, and you can see his leadership is starting to waver. So he's going to get in there with the charge, but he is not going to be able to deal with this stuff very, very easily. So, and we've got a full unit of Longbeards with great weapons up here dealing with Sigvald. So I have been able to rout out a lot of this stuff. He has Chaos Warriors, but his stuff is sort of coming back. I do have a unit of hammers back here and a unit of hammers back here. So I'm sort of trying to sort out my stuff. I've got this Marauder Horseman. I'm going to try and send these miners after him, and I want to chase these Chaos Warriors off with the miners. And get all of my cannons back online, get them shooting at something. So they are all shooting at this giant. So I'm going to get these guys back online. And this is not the best. They're hitting trees nonstop, but I also am hitting that giant. So we've got these hammers and these hammers trying to track down some units. I've got these miners dealing with Prince Sigvald, and I've got these miners. They've come back from routing, and I've got these Longbeards with great weapons trying to deal with Chaos Warriors with great weapons, Marauder Horsemen, Chaos Warriors, and we have some more of the Chaos Warriors. So really, it looked super bad right off the get-go, but I'm starting to pull it back, even without Grombrindle. These Longbeards with great weapons are going to do just fine. They have taken these Chosen, and they are now shattered. And these Marauder Horsemen are routing, and now I can go after these Chaos Warriors. I do have miners and a group of hammers and a Longbeards with great weapons. They are easily going to be able to deal with Sigvald. If I can deal with this group of Marauder Horsemen and keep on chasing this group off, so they've shattered now, I can bring them back. As long as I can get rid of that Chaos Giant, I'm going to do alright. So the Chaos Giant has gotten rid of my group of hammers and group of Longbeards, and now he is finally coming into the battle. I'm going to keep on fighting Sigvald right here. I'm doing okay here with the Longbeards with great weapons, and these guys are getting ready to go, but the giant is on his way. So I've got these miners coming back, and I do believe I have another group up here that is going to rally pretty soon. One of these guys is going to rally and bring them back. So I've got my cannons online. They are still firing at the giant. He's brought in his Marauder Horseman. He's shattered now, so he's going to be going. My miners are wavering, but they're okay. My cannons are wavering, but they're okay. I'm going to have to put them back online, back on their cannons. But now really, if I can hold off this damn giant, I'm going to be all right. So I'm taking my 2 miners and 3 miners and sending them after the giant. Now the giant is going to beat the hell out of this cannon, which is just fine. Sigvald is trying to come in. but I've got my hammers, I've got my longbeards with great weapons, and these miners are going to be able to slow him down, and I'm going to keep my cannons online. I do have a group of longbeards with great weapons in great shape up here, so they're going to come on back. A few more shots into that Chaos Giant is going to be all I'm going to need. So you can see I've got these guys back online, and now they're getting shots point blank into that Giant. They're not hitting the trees, and he is routed, so that's a pretty big deal. Now I'm going to be able to surround Sigvald, and he's got Deadly Onslaught, but that is just not going to matter because he has got a big surround, and we got Longbeards with great weapons, and we've got hammers in here, and they're just going to put a beat down on Sigvald. Yeah, he's got great stats, 65 and 60, but the hammers are going to be able to get the job done. And really, I'm just taking these cannons, and you can see I've got them off. I've just pushed them back. I'm going to take these cannons and push them back. I just want to surround Sigvald and get the job done as quickly as I can. Well, you know, I'm in no rush, really. I know I'm going to win that. It's just a matter of time because I'm bringing back these Longbeards with great weapons. So I don't want to use my cannons to accidentally shoot into that blob. So you can see I'm just sort of getting my units. I'm facing these guys this way, and I've got this cannon. I'm going to try and get them out of here and just deal with Sigvald. So I'm just going to fast forward because really there's not much here. I'm just going to beat the crap out of Sigvald for a little while. I've got these cannons moving away, and there we go. So I think a good fun fight, and you know, I'm surprised. Like, you know, I think really my cannons did fantastic off the get-go by killing this Hell Cannon right away. And this Hell Cannon was chevroned up. Nine ranks. Like, this was meant to do a ton of damage to the Dowie. There was a very clear plan with this army, and the cannons taking that out right off the get was absolutely huge. Now the rest of his army did what you'd expect the Chaos Army to do with the Dwarfs. Like, Sigvald got 80, and I mismicroed Grombrindle. That was my bad. That I got Grombrindle killed, and then Sigvald ended up getting 80 kills. The Chaos Warriors 92, 17. The Chaos Warriors with great weapons 36 and 33. And these Chosen with great weapons 64 and 104. Even though I focused on one of these guys, they still got 64. Here's the big one. These guys got 53 and 40 because I couldn't deal with in the back line, and this Chaos Giant got 80. Now for my troops, you know, the miners 23, 15, 3, and 20 is not bad for miners. The Longbeards with great weapons 23, 51, and 29. Very solid. I'm very happy about how they performed in general, you know, trying to defend my backline, though I would have liked a group of Quarrelers back there or Rangers or something. And in the front line, 40, 44, 62, and 73 for these hammers. And these hammers got 3 chevrons. My cannons did great, 16, 21, and 29. They got some chevrons in there too. So a really fun battle, a new style of build for me. With Grombrindle in there, trying to feature him as a different, sort of as a different hero rather than just the Rune Lord every time, and trying to feature a build with artillery with no Rangers or Quarrelers or this kind of thing, just to see how the build would do. I thought it was fun, and this was an interesting build. You know, I think this was huge where we got that Hell Cannon. We picked it off right off the get. There's nothing he could do there, and that was a big part of this build. Where the cannons were able to counter batter it really, really fast, and that really won me the match. If that Hell Cannon has, you know, if that ends up with 50 kills even, you know, he probably wins that. But anyways, hope you found it interesting. Love to hear from you down below. This is a new style chaos build for me. I used to bring gyrocopters to pretty much every build, but I thought I'd try something a little bit beefier, a little bit different. Hope you liked it, hope you found it interesting, and hope to hear from you in the comments, and I will see you soon.